Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is, Raiders versus the world. Talk about a team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. Well, we didn't only lose the game, but we lost our left tackle in the process. The second to last play of the game, Kolton Miller goes down, gets rolled up on by a Bears defender, and, well, Ian Rappaport tweeted about it. Let's take a look. Ian Rappaport tweeted, sources, Raiders offensive tackle Kolton Miller received bad news on his ankle following further testing. It's a high ankle sprain and a hairline fracture rather than just a sprain. The MRI revealed the sprain. A CT scan revealed the fracture. He's headed for injured reserve. Okay. Not optimal. Not good. Injured reserve can mean 4 games. It can be the season. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one because we just started clicking and getting better running the football. We had our best game protecting Geno Smith, even though he threw the ball away a lot. The offensive line had their best game. And now you're taking the leader, the best player on the offensive line away. And you're asking guys to step up even further when they basically just stepped into average. There's a little bit of a concern in Raider Nation right now. Pete Carroll has been talking about a potential replacement yesterday when they didn't know what was happening with Kolton Miller's ankle and they didn't have the results back yet. He was talking a lot about Stone Forsythe, who did not look great in the snaps that he was in and who is a little bit problematic in his movement skills to be a left tackle. It's going to be tough because there's no good option for the Colts game. Now, going forward, the best option is put Charles Grant in there, give him a lot of support, run a lot of heavy 12 personnel or jumbo packages, and give him a lot of support next to him to be able to give him some help. That's good for the long term, even longer term in this season, not just for years to come, because you're getting a guy with talent. You drafted in the 3rd round. He's going to be a tackle of the future. Is it a right tackle, left tackle, who knows? But he's the guy that you've pinned to be the guy moving forward. Stone Forsythe may be more prepared to start right now, but it's a tough call because honestly, you have to take a look. None of us are at practice, and none of us see the reps that they're taking. And if Charles Grant is better right this second than Stone Forsythe, there's no question in my mind that with reps and with more playing time and all this, that Charles Grant will surpass Stone Forsythe, maybe even surpass him in the next game or two. But we need to worry about winning this next game against the Colts. So what's the best thing to do? Rotate him in and out, have him be the guy to help out on jumbo packages? Who knows? But ultimately, we have to get someone out there who is going to be able to at least hold up and get stalemates, not just get run over. And I'm very concerned about Stone Forsythe being out there, man. He hasn't shown me very much at all. He's a big body. He moves up forward and backwards okay, but laterally, his lateral movement is not very good. And he doesn't play with tremendous amount of play strength for his size specifically. So a lot of stuff that's going to be tough for this team to overcome against the Colts. You have a high-powered offense, score a lot of points. The defense is doing a really good job over there. We're going to have to play our best game just to keep it close. We're going to have a lot of fortunate things happen for us to win a game at the Colts coming up. Next thing, Geno Smith continues to be a topic of conversation. And it's not just in Raider Nation. Let's hear what Rich Eisen had to say about Geno Smith.
I don't know what's going on with Geno. They wrote him off, but he says he never wrote back. Yep. Right now, he's giving it back. That's the problem. He's now leads the NFL with 7 interceptions. 3 more again in week 4. That's 2 of the 3 games last 3 weeks in which he's had at least 3 interceptions. 2 passing touchdowns to go with it. Ashton Jeanty
finally
got in the end zone with 2 of those receiving touchdowns. He ran one in also, but and he ran it in from the minus side of the field, meaning their side of the field. He just took it to the house, got through tackles. He's running people over. This is the guy we're looking for.
Yeah, it was good to see.
This is the guy we're looking for. This was the man from the Boise to Men we were talking about. He was a grown-ass man himself, and we were waiting for it. We're like, he needed to run this way. And the thing that I enjoyed seeing for him and for Raiders fans, he was on the field in third down. Raheem Mostert was the one coming in as well, and he was a nice.
Yeah.
You call him a change of pace because he slashes and hits
also
people
fast.
too. He's fast and he hits people too. So you got two guys who can run fast and hit you and run over people. That's what you want from the Raiders. You know, we haven't yet to see Brock Bowers really breaking out. Fewer than 50 receiving yards in 3 straight games. That didn't happen last year at all. But the interceptions are killers. They're just absolute killers. They're killers because they're drive killers, or in the case of the Raiders, here you are, start the second half. Let's go. First snap, he throws it right to the Bears, who couldn't do anything with it. And so Pete loves the guy, and for good reason. He trusts him, and he was asked if he was asked if he was considering changing quarterbacks, and here was his answer.
After Geno's third interception, he now leads the NFL. Was there any consideration to going with Kenny at all?
No, we're not there.
I mean, that's what I told you during Overreaction Monday. We're not there.
Yeah, I brought this up as a potential
right, because Kenny Pickett's sitting back there. Don't forget, they acquired him right before the beginning of the season when Aiden O'Connell went down. And so there is, you know, I hate the word solid, right?
You truly do.
You know, solid, because I think you could use better adjectives than solid, like excellent, outstanding.
You're a wordsmith, though.
I appreciate you saying that.
Come on, not everybody has
You know
that.
what? You know what the equivalent for a backup for solid is?
What's that?
Serviceable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you're called a serviceable backup, that means, you know what? You're not a starter.
No.
Serviceable.
It's like you're a stopgap.
It's stopgap is
Bridge.
another version of serviceable.
Yeah.
Bridge.
Yeah, bridge. You know what? You're not.
Quarterback.
You're not the quarterback. You're a bridge.
Yeah. Like a bridge over troubled water.
But we're not there because Pete's not there. I'll tell you what. Another 3 interception game at Indianapolis where the fans there are plugged into what that team is doing. And it just gets louder and louder and louder in there. That's a tough place to go and win when you're turning it over. That ain't it. 3 straight losses after that surprising win in New England to start the season is not it either. And in the same way, though, that I'm talking about New England being 2-2 and having a shot to make the playoffs, all you got to do is just tie yourself with New England, and you're in because you've got that tiebreak. But you can't keep throwing interceptions. And Ashton Jeanty, there it is. Rick Dalton GIF, right?
Boom.
That's the guy. Time in Hollywood?
That's the guy.
When he ran one in?
Yep.
Okay. That was it right there. There's Ashton Jeanty. There's the guy that they went and drafted 6th overall. 3rd Raiders rookie in the Super Bowl era to have a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown at least in a single game. The others are named Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. Not bad. Maxx Crosby was everywhere. He's incredible.
Yeah, he was destructive.
So, you know, let's just, again, 1-3 is not the way you wanted to go through the first quarter of the season, certainly when you started it with a win. But at Indianapolis, home for Tennessee, at Kansas City, then a bye, off of which Jacksonville comes into your house. You split those, heaven forbid you go 3-1, and you're in good shape. So we're marathoning, we're not sprinting. The Raiders 1-3. Jeanty looking good, and Geno, stop giving it to the other team.
Yep.
Otherwise, that I'm not there turns into not there ... yet, and then suddenly Pete's there because he has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like I was saying yesterday, it was very telling when Pete said we're not there, because what he meant was we're not there yet, because there is a line. Pete loves Geno Smith. Pete is enamored by Geno Smith. Okay. And he really feels like he's the guy to lead the team. But if what on the field proves different, you have to make a move. You can't just sit there and waste the entire year of throwing Geno Smith out there when he's struggling and being terrible and turn the ball over left and right. You can't keep doing that. I agree with Rich Eisen. One more game of multiple turnovers, especially with similar circumstances, and he's making the same mistakes over and over again. That's just ego-driven mistakes. And we heard from Pete Carroll in yesterday's show. He feels like he sees the read. He feels like he can make the pass, but he's not making it. So if he keeps trying to make it over and over again, that's something wrong in Geno Smith that he needs to get over. Has he learned? Don't know. Are we going to try something different offensively? Don't know. Hopefully we do a little bit more than what we did towards the end of the game, where we were under center and running the ball more and getting the ball to Brock Bowers. Hopefully that's something we do more. But ultimately, there's a lot of unknowns right now because you're banking on your running game to go under center and use play action, but you also need to have a strong left tackle and good running game to do that. And your left tackle just got injured. He's on injured reserve. Let's hear what Pete Carroll had to say on a one-on-one with JT the Brick.
Let's welcome in head coach Pete Carroll. And, Coach, I want to begin. After you addressed the team at Allegiant Stadium after the loss, you looked at the tape, and you saw some positives there that you talked about it. Let's expound on that and what you saw.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot to it. We should have won the football game. We had so many ways to win it and opportunities. The defense played spectacular early in the game and just put together a really complete game, all but the last drive when we let them get in the end zone. But there was a fantastic day. Maxx had a great day. He was all over the place, and he continues to play like that. That's not just this game. He's been playing like that. But he was a huge factor in the game. 3 knockdown passes and a pick. A great day. But so that part of it was obvious. There was a lot of talk in shows like yours about the running game last week and where is it and all that kind of stuff. Well, we ran the hell out of the football, and Ashton did just like he's been doing. He got enough chances. He got enough space. And he showed you that he can smoke it from anywhere in the field, and that was awesome. We also protected the quarterback. We didn't, no sacks. So we needed to work together better. Geno gets all the heat on this thing about the throws and all that, but there's more than that, and we have to just clean stuff up and get more precise about how we're defending the football too sometimes, and so we could do that better. What comes out of the game is really a very optimistic look at what we potentially can become. When the running game goes like that, JT, it affects everything. Mm-hmm. And if we can continue to find, really legitimate force with jeanty and with Raheem, who did very well in his spot playing, then that sets everything in motion and rounds us out as a football team. So we're still growing, and the players understand that. They don't want to hear it any more than I want to have to say it. But we're still growing, and we're not getting the wins to show it. But it's coming, and so I was very excited about our club coming out of that film session. When I went in, I was not very excited at all, I promise you.
With Kolton, we're going to wait for you to make the announcement on his health when it's right here, but if he's going to be down for a little bit here, what have you done with competition, looking for the best 5 from the offseason and up until now that gives you confidence you'll find someone to step in and do a good job? Yeah,
well, the first thing that we do is we'll go with the experience of Stone Forsythe. He'll get in the game. We want to see what Charles can do, so we'd love to play him and get him in there and see how far he's come. He's a tremendous athlete and a prospect that's on the rise, and maybe this is his time. That's where the competition will really show up in practice as well as in the game, hopefully. And then all of the guys are challenged a little bit. Everybody's got to be ready to slide and back up, and the big tackle that comes in, in short yard situations, all of that is up for grabs. Likely that Charles and Stone will be on the field, when that happens. But so that's pretty clear. But Johnny's he's out there searching guys out. We worked some guys out today, and we'll continue to be on the lookout for whatever we can come up with.
One more on Ashton. How comfortable was he compared to other games here? You're working with him around the clock, and he's been so calm and cool knowing that this would happen, and then it happens. What does that do for his mindset?
Well, for sure, it gives him a great boost, and he's rewarded by all of the patience that he's demonstrated. He's a great kid, as I continue to tell you, very level-headed, very even-keeled, but just as much as anybody, he wanted to kick butt too, and he finally got his chance to really break out. The guys did a fantastic job up front. JPJ had a good game. We're glad to see him back in action, so we'll see. That competition will still continue there, but we really liked what he did, and the rest of the fellas. Kolton had a very good game as well. Unfortunately, he got banged up. We're trying to figure out what's going to happen with that, but he's going to be out for a while.
Coach, I wanted to get your philosophy around the league-wide on special teams. We're only through week 4, and there's been so many dramatic conclusions. Good for some teams on winning on block kicks, bad for teams like ours that lost that way. What do you think overall is happening around the league with all these dramatic plays?
Well, I think right now it's everybody settling into their ways, after coming out of camp and trying to find it. The kickoff remains, a real challenge, to try and figure that thing out. Our guys spent all offseason kicking the ball in special ways, trying to keep the ball away from the returners to take advantage of, that expertise. Everybody's trying to. They're trying to kick the ball and get it on the ground so the guys have to fumble around with it and then the coverage can get there. But it's been very explosive, and I guess dynamic's a pretty good word for the kickoff, But the kicking game has been volatile, and that has to do a lot with the competitiveness on your depth chart, the guys that have come in that are playing those plays and how they're doing. Our guys are young and challenged by it, but they're going to certainly get better. They're getting a ton of work.
Okay.
Our young guys are getting all the work out there, and so hopefully, we can just clean it up. We have to get out of our own way, JT. We got to play football that doesn't give them opportunities, and so that's easier said than done. And but when we do that, we're going to be a very difficult team to deal with, I think.
And one on Geno in this game here, the frustration level because you've seen him sling it and make big plays here, and he's just missing. And some of these turnovers, you said it, they're great plays by the other team. So his confidence level is usually always high here. He has another opportunity on the road, in Indy, indoors, to have a big bounce-back game.
Yeah, his confidence is not going to linger at all. He's going to be fine about that. He's just pissed that he's in the middle of all that, and he would like to do his part, and he would like everybody to contribute to do their part so that we can make sure and keep the football, and it's a big deal to us. We got to maybe not call that play, to help him out a little bit. That gives him a chance to throw the ball over the middle when there's a guy hanging in there, and so Chip and all of us were all part of that, and so we're working to it. It is not all on Geno's shoulders. He just catches all the flack.
Let's get to the Colts. 397 yards per game, 136 on the ground. Everything was kind of going right for them. They had a bad loss here, but a very balanced team. What do you see on tape?
Yeah, this is a very worthy team now. They've got firepower at the running back. The running back's terrific. Jonathan Taylor's a great player. Their receivers are really good and they're big. The tight ends are a good group, and the new kid Tyler is really a good football player, and they're using him much like we used Brock last year, and as we're using him now, a real featured player in the offense. And they've got a solid offensive line. The new guy is Daniel Jones in this thing, and he has really thrived with the people around him in the system that they're running. Shane's doing a great job with getting him off to a fantastic start. I know his confidence is high. He got roughed up a little bit last week with a couple picks and all of that, but they have seemed to have put it together really well, and they've been wide open, and that's why they've caught people off guard. It's kind of a classic. You start up and the opponents didn't know what to expect from them, and they got off to a great start. So hopefully we can even this thing out. They got evened out last week a little bit. We got to do the same.
He's 72% completion percentage, but 50% under pressure, and you got the guys that can get to him.
Well, we're going to try. We're going to try to make it hard on them. They've used their play action game so extensively, more than maybe anybody in the NFL, right up at the very top. That's been a real benefit to them, and it's because of Jonathan Taylor's back there. He's a great player. He makes people miss just like Ashton does. They just bounce off him, and they just keeps running, and they can't stop him. And so our tackling will be a paramount importance this week in gang tackling him. And you can't assume that he's down. You can't assume you make a good hit on the guy. Right. He keeps going, just like what Ashton does, and it's a great trait for a running back. And I think he's leading the NFL in rushing right now.
You told us that last week, and they backed it up, Devin White. Get to the ball, tackle. You worked on fundamentals coming off the Commander game. That's got to help in this game, as you mentioned, gang tackling. And having a leader like Devin White who's having a big year. He's
really off to a good start, and he's still learning his position, playing in the middle, and as much as he is, he's going to continue to get better. He's really a physical force, and when he hits you, he nails you. And he's a very aggressive, attack-oriented, downhill linebacker like we love, as is E-Rob and Pratt as well. And you mix that with what Jamal has done, you can see a good group coming together. They're still coming together, though, and we'll get a lot better.
What can you tell us as we wrap this up about Shane Steichen and his coaching philosophy?
Well, I like that he's weathered the storm, kind of, and he's come out of it, after the couple of years of struggling. they've come out of it off to a great start. So a lot of credit goes to Shane to keep this thing together and hold it up, and made a big quarterback decision and changed it. And they still got Richardson, who's a fantastic athlete, but he's he's the backup right now. That move has really proven them well off. And so if they can maintain it, we'll see what happens. We'll try to disrupt him a little bit this week and see if we can throw them off. But he's done a great job. And it's hard to survive your first few years in the NFL as a first-time head coach, and so many things go awry, and it's so difficult. But he seems to have done that, and we'll wish him the best in all that.
Last one, Coach, with the fans. You've stepped up to the microphone telling them what you want to see. Obviously, Geno, you mentioned Maxx having big games. And for the fans out there, another opportunity to go east, early start time, and go get a win.
Yeah, come travel with us. Well, I thought the stadium was electric this weekend, and we wanted to play up to it and maximize that and see if we couldn't, take the next step together with our fans. They saw a heck of a football game. They just didn't see the last kick go the right way, And so these games come down to the last play so often, and that's what we're well aware of, and you have to come through and get it done. And unfortunately, it went the other way. But take nothing away from our crowd. They got them to jump off sides a couple times. Yeah. They were a factor in the first game here. They already, the crowd is a factor, and whether or not they're, people travel well to come to our games. I thought we out hollered them throughout the game, and we had really a great support from them.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you, bud.
Well, out of his own mouth, it's going to be Stone Forsythe. Kolton is going to be out for a while. There's going to be a competition between Charles Grant and Stone Forsythe for snaps at left tackle. Now, look, I think we kind of figured out what Pete Carroll's doing with Jackson Powers-Johnson when he said he's still in competition. There is no competition at right guard. It's Jackson Powers-Johnson's job. What Pete Carroll is doing is he's trying to fire up Jackson Powers-Johnson to say, hey, it's not yours. You still got to fight for it. So just to kind of amp him up a little bit more and get his juices flowing a little bit. But it is Jackson Powers-Johnson's job. As far as left tackle goes, he said it himself. He's gonna default to experience, and Stone Forsythe has more experience, unless Charles Grant can show that he's much better during practice and he performs. So it's going to be up to him. The job is there to be had, because Pete Carroll said in a roundabout way, Stone Forsythe is getting this nod at left tackle because of his experience, not because of his talent, not because of his play. It's because of his experience. If Charles Grant can go out there and be a clear choice to do it, he's going to be the left tackle. Now, as far as Geno Smith, one thing that was really interesting that Pete Carroll said, it was kind of a direct shot at Chip Kelly, is maybe we stop calling that play. It's the same play over and over again, and we keep calling that play, and Geno Smith feels like he could rip it, and he tries to, and he's gotten 4 interceptions off of that play. So, yeah, maybe we call a different play, and Pete Carroll said it out of his own mouth. And truer words cannot be spoken. If he's having trouble making that read and making that throw, then just stop calling that freaking play. Use Brock Bowers more, find him more often, find ways to get Jeanty and Raheem Mostert, the running backs, the ball. Defensively, it's going to be tough because of Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is the guy that makes this entire thing run. Without Jonathan Taylor running the ball and leading the league in rushing, the play-action game is toast. So the reason why Daniel Jones can sit back in the pocket and survey and throw to his big receivers and throw to his quality tight ends is because he's getting time with the play-action. And we need to make sure that we fight through that and we get pressure on Daniel Jones, because he's a different guy, completely different when he's pressured. Of course, all quarterbacks are not as good when they're pressured. Daniel Jones's drop-off is significant with completion percentage and with turnovers. We don't want to make him run because he's a very capable running quarterback. We still want to keep him in the pocket, but we want to pressure him into speeding up his clock and trying to make those split decisions and get those errant throws. He misses a lot high. So the potential for interceptions are there, but we got to make sure we put pressure on him. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's an excellent way to support the channel. It's absolutely free. And it's the bare minimum you can do to support the channel, besides doing nothing, just watch the video. On top of that, we have the Shield Society. Shield Society is great, man. It's a membership. It's only $5 a month. What do you get? Well, you get some freebies. I'm sending that freebies out this week. On top of that, you get stuff that I don't even sell. This is stuff that's just for Shield Society members only. Nothing crazy, nothing out of this world, but just a small token of my appreciation to the Shield Society. On top of that, you get the videos right away. What does that mean? Well, I normally get these videos done the night before and I schedule them for the following day. Well, guess what? Shield Society members get to watch them right away. On top of that, you get to watch party with me and a chance to be on the show yourself, give your analysis, your takes, vent if you need to, cheer if you need to, all that stuff for Shield Society members only. No one else gets to see it, just the Shield Society. So, guys, I need you to do one more thing for me, please. Tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the world is the greatest thing going in Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.